Yo, 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 yo. What's going on? We're a little late right now, so we're just gonna hop in, get things going. Tried to add the flow of volume. I did not forget so good because I guess you have to pay for that one. So we're gonna go ahead and remove that. We're gonna go ahead and click on this. We're at the opening time. If you notice that at the end there, we do have a massive screen. So where does this go? Boom. All right, so it's about there. So this is what we can do. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Partly because I hardly ever really use the other thing. I want to. I know there's a thing. Maybe it's just old school and I want to. Who knows? But what I do know is we're getting prepared. We're gonna open up our super charts. See here. Well, you see half of that as well. And we got this new window over here, and then we're gonna go over here. We're gonna try this. Boom, boom, zip boom, boom, boom. All right, 15 minutes. Orb is just starting. Normally, this week we've been starting to pray in the beginning. Normally do it before, or I don't even know if I really did, or how often I did. We're gonna do it anyways. We used to do it before, but now we're doing it during, right when we start. So Father, in Jesus' name, we just pray that we think of you. We think of you when we trade. We think of you when we do everything we do. And just pray that you help us with our trades, help us with mind that our goal is to go ahead and further the kingdom with whatever we gain. We will promise to tithe our yearly things by 10% as you would like us to. So, that being said, Father, just help us with our trading, with our day, and the rest of the week. And you just help us with work and everything else. Safe travels for everybody that is driving. Just need amen. All right, let's go. Let's get going. Let's make this happen. And we're going to pull up our cool
relative to these recent swing highs and swing lows. So, for me to have been interested in that zone, I would have preferred to see price come down and take out all of this former demand over here before coming up for a short sell, okay, to the downside. So for that reason alone, I'm going to ignore that zone, and we'll just take a look on some smaller time frames to see if anything new pops out of that. It is giving me this one here on a 2-hour. Probably, let's see here.
So
decent volume coming out of it. It's just a little too narrow for my taste. Again, I like those 30, 40, 50 pip zones. So we'll just flip on down to the 1 hour. Now on a 1 hour, it is giving me this extreme top here. So that would be one I would probably be interested in taking a look at, because as you can see, the VSA bar, that's yellow down below there. So that's a pretty strong bar that exited the zone. So I do like that. So having said that, I'm going to go ahead and put in an alert on top of the proximal line of that zone there. So let's just go ahead and flip this down here. And then I'll just move that on up here. Like that. So yeah, I would be more interested in checking out that one, see how price reacts. And not only that, but anytime you see a blue dashed line on my charts, it's because of a higher time frame former resistance or support area. So if I take that same mark
from here, here to here,
what was that, the 145.92? So yeah, so as you can see over here on my daily, that's just a point right there, a former resistance point before price dropped sharply. So I just like to see those on the higher time frames just to see where we had some big turns. So I do like that is going through that zone, and not only that, it is going, you know, it would potentially be wicking through this downward line, this overall downward line. So yeah, just a few different variables in the favor of this. So we'll definitely make that one of the top short sell opportunities over the next couple days or so, whenever price gets up there. So next is dollar Canada dollar. So we'll take one look at that. We went on a pretty nice overall yesterday, higher time frame downtrend.
Our sacrifice account
again, that GDP is definitely weighing heavy on the dollar. It doesn't look like anybody like that. So I did identify, on a 4 hour, I did have a 4 hour supply zone overhead here. Okay, so that's definitely one I'll be looking at. But in the more near term on the hour, we do have one right here. So I love the volume that came out of this by the VSA candles, but I don't like that the candle that left didn't go that far.
Why did I?
So this is I would have rather that candle come all the way down like this candle. So personally, I'm probably not going to be interested in that one. Plus, if you run a fib from here to here, I mean, it is coming up to 50%, but obviously the 61.8 would be more in this area. So yeah, having said that, my preference would be definitely the 4 hour supply zone. So just throw a quick alert on that one as well. And then I think that'll be the main ones for me at the moment. So obviously as the stream goes, I'm going to, I ran out of alerts. I'm going to have to delete some old ones, which I can do off stream. Guess it's time to get that higher package. I'm actually looking to go up.
This is how they upsell you, man. That's how they upsell you. You need to.
Well, I've been noticing. Yeah, I've been wanting to get into the footprint chart anyway. So it's the next package up from where I'm at. So just to kind of take a look at that footprint chart. I don't know. Do you guys have experience with the footprint? I know I've seen a couple other streamers been using it.
Yeah, it's not part of my analysis, but I know some other guys that utilize it. Yeah. But it's just not generally something that that would add anything to my analysis.
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
I heard.
I use, but if you want to see how to use perfectly, you have the coach on Hola Prime. His name is Sam, and he's using very, very often footprint. So you can watch his videos. He's really good expert there.
Yeah, and I think Troy was talking about it yesterday. Like if you're a scalper, that's a really good tool. So anyway, time to go up so I can get some more alerts anyway. But yeah, I think that's really the top four that I'm looking at. So Igor, if you have any thoughts on those or some of the other currency pairs, I guess I'll just pass it off to you for now and see if we got any more plays deeper.
No problem.
By the way,
I just have one question for you, Taiga.
Yes.
What is your opinion about US dollar index for the next week? How do you see that? Just in your way.
Yeah, the index. So it has definitely been going down like crazy. I don't see a stop in sight, to be honest. I mean, with all these reports that have been coming out now, a lot of the dollar fundamental reports this week have been good, but it just seems like that GDP report's just been weighing heavy. So yeah, that's really, when it comes to the way I look at fundamental and sentimental reports and analysis, that's the most common theme, short the dollar. So obviously it's a dynamic list. I kind of went over it on the stream yesterday with Walter and Richard, kind of how I follow.
Order filled.
So we're gonna go ahead and do that.
I mean, three 3 reports in a row. I mean, if I can actually, you know what? I can just take a quick.
I don't know
Let me
why
just show
these
you
are
this real
set to
quick.
none.
Where's that? Jeez.
Nice.
Let me just find it on my chart real quick here. Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
let me
go
just
ahead and
share
go to
this
the
tab real quick.
300. We're gonna leave this here.
So yeah, look at this. I mean, this is. I mean, we've had constant 3%. We did dip down to 1.5%, and then up to 3, and the high 2s, mid 2s. But then the last 3 months, look at that. It's just been sick.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the market's digested right now is like.
Order filled.
We're gonna grow. We're gonna make any money. What's going on here?
Oh, these are market, not limits.
Yeah, I'm
Order
definitely
filled.
shorted. And obviously,
No.
When you look at
No.
the Dixie itself, let me go back over to this.
Order filled.
I mean, yeah,
we
that's
just scalped out
looking.
some.
I mean,
That's
you
crazy,
do have.
bro.
I mean, I know we
That's
don't trade the the index,
That's
but
crazy,
obviously
man.
the Dixie, the
Crazy.
DX1 futures looks very similar. So you don't really have a whole lot of what I would call demand, but basically support if we're just looking at the indices until we get down to this level, the 95 level. So I see it going further down. I mean, let's take a look real quick at the DX futures. I mean, I'm not a futures trader, but I still monitor it. So let me just get rid of all these old drawings over here. Remove 3 drawings. I mean, it looks like on a daily time frame, I mean, we do have this daily demand zone trying to form over here. Okay. Last red candle down before a big spike up. So, yeah, so I would definitely see it going down to at least 96.25. I mean, it's really not that far away, to be honest, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens if and when price reaches this area as far as the futures, because obviously the index is pretty similar. So,
All right,
definitely
we're doing
down.
okay.
But we might get a sharp bounce. I mean, that might push it back up to the 98 level where you see that overhead supply.
Hopefully, we
Okay,
end the
so,
week positive.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely going to be an interesting one. We could see something like this to where it comes back up to this area and goes down.
Yeah, dude, we were
may
like,
see-
we were pretty much like
I mean, we
a
may see
grand
price
down.
come down,
Okay, we
bounce,
were at like 20,
come back up and just
like
shoot right
100
through
and
it,
something.
and then use it for
We actually got it back to the
support,
spot
turn to
we
resistance. I
left
mean,
before we started. Like
I don't know.
We were like 200
I just
bucks
think
down.
that GDP
That's
report's
crazy,
got
huh?
everybody in a tizzy.
We like lost so many
That's
trades,
what I
and
got
then
on that.
we finally took this trade with
What's your
freaking
thoughts?
Nice, Liker. Excellent. So I will just
310
share
micros.
my screen. First, what
right
I
in
want to do
somewhere
right now
here,
is just
and
to
we
show
caught
my
the
trade.
down.
And
It
then
was just it
I
kept
will
going
talk
up and up,
more
and I
about
really expected
my
it to honestly to
setups.
come down.
So,
So
just
what I think
to
actually we might be trekking down
show
back
you, I
into
hope that you will see. Yes. So
you
I
notice how
filled one trade
we've
just
not
a couple
came
hours
under, and
ago.
this is the reason why
What I
was
did, I
hoping or
sell
assuming
British pound
or just
dollar
really
again.
believed that we'd have
I
some
always
sell
play
side.
around these levels.
We did not.
My stop loss is
Maybe
around
we're
previous
in
low.
this range
Now I
here.
will maybe
see the last
just,
time that they
put
kind of
it,
stacked. I kind of felt like
around
it was like boom, like maybe we'd come down some.
51 level. And
you know,
my
only
profit
so many
is
times that it goes up
around
up, 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 up.
1.367 from British pound dollar. But
then,
I
like,
will
once
just
it starts
explain
to
you
kind of
everything.
Get down
on,
here,
in the
then we kind
trading
of see
view.
some
Just,
retracement. That's
I
kind
have
of what I'm
this trade
seeing
right now.
Once
and
we have a
on the
low
trading
one
view,
underneath or around here, a lot of the times we have
show
a
you
retracement. Like obviously it
what
didn't
I'm
work out
looking
there, but
for.
that's
So,
one out
let
of
me start
like
from the
many,
beginning just to understand my setup right
that we
now.
would have like at least a short
for
pullback.
the
I'm assuming
for
as
the
how high this
US
is.
dollar index. Let me start from
we
the
might
beginning. Of
and
course,
this
this
is,
is
again,
the really bad.
not
We're going down.
100% because this one came down. So that's what we're thinking.
However, dollar
might
index.
think that
So
this
I don't
next one
know
is still
how
coming
will
down.
this
So we're
day
gonna
will
be
end up.
just based off of that.
I would
Now
like
we gotta
to
look
see
at
a
some
little
other things
bullish
to
attempt
hopefully
today,
try and get
and I will
some,
just describe you
confirmation
why
here,
I
some
want to see
confluence.
that. So,
but I mean, we just did
let me
bounce
start
off
from the
of
weekly chart.
that range.
From the weekly
here.
chart,
you can't even see
I
that.
have one idea, and I will just show you that. I have one trend line, and that trend line is since 2008. So
Okay, we
it's
are
more
bouncing off
than
of this trend
17
line, as you
years.
can see here, boom, boom, boom.
And as you can
If
see,
we were to
this
go ahead
trend
and
line
move
for
this
US
up,
dollar
you'll see.
index is
If
rising
we were to go
trend
ahead and
line.
move this up here,
And now
that's not
very, very close to touch this trend line. My assumption is that there is a chance that that can be a low for US dollar index, and after that, US dollar index can start to go up again. That can happen maybe this summer, maybe in the beginning of September. I don't know how market will react here, but this is one of the idea that I want to see
so on the daily,
related to the market. Now, this is just a macro on a weekly multi-weekly chart for last 17, 18 years. But when we speak about last 24 hours, I noticed that this kind of the trend line. Today we are trying to push higher.
That's crazy.
Even this morning we just like start to break a little bit. Then there was some kind of projection, but US index is struggling during the Friday, and that can be very, very valuable for my trade.
You see,
now
we did bounce off of that, so you know
for British pound dollar.
It's a thing. I usually have that
in last 5 years,
left side over here,
and that was around level 1.3770. And what's happened there?
We are seeing it come down here.
After that
on the
we see
monthly,
and which we are breaking right now.
Still looking very.
Which means if we break
things are looking
next
very
15 minutes. So in next 15 minutes, we see the break here.
You know,
there is a big chance that today we will never see the new high.
Solid.
So we will push the price lower. Maybe in this range right now, maybe lower. I don't know. But what can happen here is that we don't have the new
finished out our 15-minute order.
Now, based on my analysis for last couple decades, whenever you have
it is time
the highest high during the Thursday
to watch,
that means for every market, especially for indices and for forex.
So this is technically not there.
And on Friday, you cannot hit the high. There is a high rejection during the Friday.
All right.
Monday
so now...
is the day when you will see the bearish push, and that I want to see right now for British pound dollar. If everything be smooth that I want to see. Of course, anything can change in next half hour. And because the problem with relative strength index indicator, only indicator I use, they repaint, and only valuable information is on the close of the hour.
We might be struggling
so
right
I want
here
to
in this
see
area.
Next 15
I'm going to go ahead and short this
close of the
and
hour
hope
and to
that
see
we
this
continue down.
Kind of the break. And then I will change my shift and protect my trade that I already have.
We do break
so
down.
I want to see
not
a bearish British pound dollar today and in Monday.
But it's really
and after
what I'm
that,
hoping for,
we'll see,
and we're going to give it a go and hope for the best here.
And of course, I think that we will see the new highs for British pound dollar. But for now, it's like that. What is the important thing too, based on statistics? The last time when we were in this area right now, around above 1.37 level, that was in the January, February, March, and April in 2021. And then when we hit the high, the highest high was 1.3765, 5 pips difference than yesterday. Which means that institutional traders, they like to copy weekly low, weekly high, monthly low, monthly high trades from the past, and like to enter in those levels. So this is why I want to see some bigger push down and then to break and see the next level, which should be around 1.385 for British pound dollar. And this is just the first attempt that I want to see. Now, related to the other currency pairs, euro dollar is pretty interesting. Why is pretty interesting is because we didn't hit the new highs for the British pound dollar, but we hit the new high today for euro dollar. So the high was just an hour ago, and the high was around 1.7050 level. And this is the highest high for the long time. And because of that, the trade that we had today was very interesting related to euro dollar. And let me just show you this. If we do a trend line or relative strength index in June 18, and we monitor this trend line is fascinating. Why? Because we had one attempt on the June 20, then dot on the Monday, June 23, then almost on the Wednesday 25, then 2 times yesterday. And what's happened today, when we touch again, we make push upside. So we made 50 pips this morning, just after we touched this very, very strong support for euro dollar. And I want to see today that we break this support. I would like to see that. That will be additional trigger that US dollar index, British pound dollar, and euro dollar all on the same side, where US dollars try to recover and euro dollar and British pound dollar trying to go down and to make a little bit retrace before the new bounce. So this is my plan right now. I want to see today without new highs for euro dollar and British pound dollar. I want to
that was the wrong
break,
one.
and I will monitor that. Now about trades, I like your trade, Walter, relating to the gold. And I would just show you the trade from the yesterday when it was Paul, Yanni, and me. I just talk about that trade, and I would just show you how technical analysis can be very, very good.
Okay, well, we're back in and hoping for the best.
So it was the yesterday.
We're back in way lower.
And we just do like this. Had some kind of bullish trend since the Tuesday. It was related to the US dollar index because the US dollar index whole this week was very, very weak. And the gold started to go up, breakout down. But what's happened after this breakout, there was a retest. So we went up, and what's happened, the price just hit the VWAP and then start to go down. So this trade, when the price touched the VWAP, it was yesterday in the evening. I missed that trade because I was home, and in my time, I was ready almost to sleep. And what's happened then is we touched that point and just go down. So during whole Asia and Euro session, we went pretty down, and that trade was really good for gold. And I described this trade, talked about this trade yesterday, and I picked to hold the British pound dollar sell order. And I didn't want to have, 2 trades on a different sides. And that happens to me, just miss that kind of the opportunity. So
order filled.
The good thing is that the gold now is not interesting for me, neither for buying, neither for selling right now. And this is the trades that I like to monitor right now and to trade, actually.
Now we're jumping in.
The only thing
we're gonna ride this
that
one all the way down
I
here,
wonder right now is related to the stock market and indices. So for the people who like to trade indices, what I'm looking right now is something that usually some kind of the breakout is preparing. And I just want to monitor that. It's I think couple days bearish move for the stock market.
All right.
And I will just describe what's happened here. Whenever I see that during the whole week
go down.
Indices, the leading indicator was bullish NASDAQ, and the percentage of the gain for the NASDAQ was bigger than for S&P and Dow.
All right, we took that level here.
For example, when we got 0.5% for the NASDAQ, Dow S&P 500 were 0.25%.
We're gonna move that up
or
to
something like
right
that.
above that
So
target
whenever
area.
NASDAQ is
and we're
leading,
gonna
first NASDAQ start to push higher, and then S&P and
that
Dow
we are
follow.
right.
That
Order
caused
filled.
Oh my
worry
gosh, we're
during
on
the whole
tens.
this week. But
I forgot to change it
today,
down to fours.
we have
This is
something
insanities, guys.
we have that the S&P and Dow has a bigger percentage, and NASDAQ is going down. And usually when I see this at Friday, it's some kind of the trigger. It's not clear trigger, of course, that maybe we can see some kind of the pullback. Maybe in the second part of the Friday, maybe in Monday, I don't know when, but some kind of the bearish move, short-term lived, of course, preparing for the stock market. And I think that's correlated with my scenario that US dollar index will try to recover, and in the same time, US dollar index just to go a little bit down. I will monitor that, and maybe I will catch some kind of the set there. But for the now, I'm just watching. I will not trade that. I'm just watching that. For other currency pairs that I usually trade, in last month, I do not trade US dollar Japanese yen. Because it's a really,
It's actually pretty scary.
some kind
and
of
it
the
actually
range.
does not
is
look
some
good.
kind of pretty.
It does not
pretty,
look good at all.
Awkward moves.
I'm gonna
because,
let you know that.
Whole week the US dollar index went so
That's
down,
hardcore.
and US dollar Japanese yen were in some kind of the range. There was no push downside.
We're likely
going to
get stopped out right here.
That,
No,
I
don't
think
do it.
It's not
man.
interesting for me. And I now I
Drop.
see how
Shucks.
actually pushing a little bit higher there. And on chart, you can see when you see the move.
Dude, we're getting wrecked right here.
Compare this move for US dollar Japanese yen. You can see how
Order
it's really
canceled.
boring,
Stop filled.
for my taste. However, if we see the US dollar index recovery for the couple days or 1 day or 2 days, maybe someone can be interesting to buy US dollar Japanese yen. As you can see right now, and on the 1 hour chart, we can see some kind of the bullish move that I just monitor. So
Order
I think
canceled.
whenever we
Stop
push higher on relative strength index indicator and push it higher and higher and keep this trend line up, there is a chance that US dollar
some
Japanese yen
bullcrap.
can touch new highs. If we see the breakout of this, we will again enter in some zone,
Wow.
range zone, I don't know, but there's no big momentum, big trend that I want to catch there. And the same stories for Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar. So if you see just daily chart, just look at the daily chart,
We did say. We
how
did
this
say.
boring a relative
Order
strength
filled.
indicator,
Order filled.
like
Why
a
not?
straight line. Straight
Why
line
not?
when you watch relative strength index. Even that we got 4 bullish candles on daily level, even that we are not still in some big push upside, and the same story for the Kiwi dollar too, as you can see, relative strength index indicator. So like us, very, very boring.
Okay,
And
so we
I'm
gotta
out.
wait.
I don't want to touch.
We're a little down.
This
Yeah.
this pairs. Even that I'm a range. For example, if I'm range trader, I don't want to trade this because very often we can see the false breakout, then again enter in the range, which I see very often, and because of that, I will be out of these currency pairs for now, for sure. So this is the setups.
I'm gonna try to
for
scout
that.
some of these
So
out.
guys, do you have questions for me? Robert, do you have any question?
Yeah, Igor, what are your thoughts on VWAP? So do you use anchored VWAP or do you just use the daily VWAP, however it's like default setted, the default setting?
Yes. I like to use session daily. We to use especially when we have volatile market. I do not use because when we have
That's
very
why we're
volatile
gonna check
market
for
like
economic
now, when we can get, you know,
calendar.
200 pips upside for British pound dollar, euro dollar, anything, it's very important to watch this VWAP because this standard deviation that we have from the VWAP, and that is the very important.
Stokes, Michigan,
Very important. The VWAP is during the UK Open, Frankfurt Open, and US Open. Usually, we have a manipulation in the price for any asset related to the major forex market, and then when we have that manipulation, we attempt to go from the one standard deviation VWAP to another standard deviation VWAP, or for example, I will just give an example just to see how that can be very, very powerful. So let me watch Wednesday,
That's
June
hardcore.
25, for example. So above the standard deviation above VWAP, and we are going higher during the Asia session. And then
we jumped in there with
in one moment during the Frankfurt Open, we touch the VWAP level, just touch that level. And from that level, we start to go up, and we touch the new high for the day. And I just want to show how this VWAP can be very, very good used just to find that low price if you want to be bullish, or to find the high price if you want to be bearish during the moments of manipulation and the UK Open, US Open, etc. So this is the reason why I'm using this. And of course, if I use for the stock market, then it's more beneficial than anything else. And
hopefully we could pull some of that back.
And, this is my approach for that, Tiger.
Yeah, no, it's a powerful indicator. I started using it at first when I was messing around with some penny stock trading. And then I just kind of carried it over into my Forex. I used one
contract, not the 10.
But I like to use, me personally, I like to use the anchored because I like to move it from the low points to the high points.
Order filled.
Like, I guess I could show you if you want me to show on the screen real quick.
Yes, please. I would just like to see that.
Yeah. So let me, and also I'm looking to get into a silver trade, by the way. So,
what direction are you looking to take the silver? I'm about to get into a gold trade and Bitcoin trade as well.
Okay. Are you long or short?
Currently long gold and short Bitcoin, but okay. I'll touch on the Bitcoin shortly after you.
Yeah. Oh, is my screen popping up?
Oh, it's not up yet. By the way, Robert, I saw your message. No worries at all. Got another Bitcoin trade lineup in a few minutes as well.
Well, let's get this to working real quick. Share screen.
Order canceled.
It's taking a minute to get on.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. It was my mistake. I will remove myself and add you.
Oh, okay. I got you. No worries. So yeah. So as far as silver goes,
that's kind of weird.
When I'm looking at my fundamental and economic reports, for silver, it was neutral for the most part on the COT report, but the retail traders, they are obviously trying to short it when you're looking at the retail sentiment. But seasonality has given me a point. The recent GDP reports, the manufacturing and the services PMIs.
See what happens right here.
Positive for silver, retail sales, CPI, PCE, and the interest rates. So those are all in favor of silver. And really, there's only two things that are against the silver, and that's the
order submitted,
the employment change numbers, and I guess it is showing for the trend. So anyway, overall, it's given me a seven score, which 5 or higher is bullish. So I'm going to go with that. But yeah, going back to this. So I drew the other day when price was right here, I drew this as a potential point down into this demand zone, which I really like. And I still do. This is my favorite one because I have a 4-hour demand zone inside of a daily demand zone. So that's just excellent confluence. But I'm going to go ahead and probably take a stab, because since then we have created this 4-hour demand zone here. Really nice spike out of that. Good fair value gap. Pretty decent volume spike at the bottom on that candle coming out. It didn't necessarily go as high as I want. I would have preferred to have seen it, you know, continue out like this and break all these highs over here.
Order filled.
Before coming back. So having said that, though, it is bound, that demand zone is also within kind of a minor master pattern box. So that pushes out a value line, which you can't see because I got all those drawings, but there you go. So like this is a minor contraction box, and it pushes out that yellow line at the 50% of the box. So that acts as another type of a support. So yeah, I'm liking that.
It's basically the midpoint of that range.
Correct. So yeah, the 4-hour candle coming out of that, and the candle before, obviously really strong wicks. So that's definitely some pretty good rejection. So essentially, what I think I'm probably going to do, fellas, is look to put a stop limit order just above this area right here, that wick.
That was kind of a dumb trade
on the way out of that newly forming.
Right now, this was a pretty dumb trade.
Minor contraction box. So
that was some FOMOing right there.
And then what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and as far as
I felt like this was a decent zone.
So one thing I like to do, if I'm just looking at,
and then if it broke above, that it was going to go above. And we probably should have put that trade on.
Okay. So I like to use the VWAP, the anchored VWAP, so that I can move it to whatever point I'm
pretty late. As you can see, it's struggling pretty hard. Like I think it's either, if it breaks, it's going to break pretty decent. If not, it's just going to die.
So on a daily, I would put it at this extreme low. You can see it respected it in this area here.
If it fails here,
up, you know,
right after this, we're probably pretty screwed.
On a daily, yeah.
It's trying so hard.
Silver going up and up, and then it comes back down. By the time this VWAP lines up with that daily and 4-hour demand zone, then that's just another good confluence. It's another good dynamic support and resistance line, much like people use moving averages. So I personally, I just love VWAP, the anchored VWAP, more so than the moving averages. But that's, you know, that's just me. Everybody's got their own way. So yeah, on a daily, that's one way I like to use it. And then, you know, if we're drilling down into some smaller time frames, same thing.
I'm a little scared, honestly. It's not doing what I want. I think I want to try to get out, break even.
But I'll just kind of look and see where, you know, where it's lining up, like right there. Actually, that one's actually going
waiting
right
for the next push slightly above.
So this low point here, when I put the anchored VWAP down, it lines up with my demand zone where I'm currently at. So I better.
It's likely to go up now.
So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put one on my broker.
I just don't like what I'm seeing.
Yeah. You don't want to miss that trade.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm going to essentially put a stop loss under here, and I'll put my initial take profit up here. So anyway, I'm going to go do that on my other thing real quick while you guys let me know what you think.
Okay, Tiger, just to ask you about how do you move this VWAP on the chart, and which indicator exactly do you use in TradingView?
Great question. Let me just go back and show real quick. Present. Yeah, and this is a free indicator on TradingView. Yeah. So all you got to do, once my chart comes back up, is just...
It really does look like we might actually go
go to your indicators and just type in...
I shouldn't have got out. Oh, well. It is what it
VWAP,
is.
Right VWAP auto anchored.
We just getting wrecked.
You just put a star by it so it puts it on your
left
favorites.
And right.
When you
order filled.
Order filled.
So you can put it up here in the tab, like right there, just like that. So it's going to look like two candles, and you'll see a line going through it. Can you guys see that? Okay. Yeah, right up here.
Yeah, it's nice and clear. Very nice and clear.
So I just added it to my favorites. That way it's up here with, you know, my fibs and my projection tool, everything else I use. So that's just a quick grab it, throw a line wherever you want. But yeah, again, I just use the extreme highs and the extreme lows, and it just gives a good dynamic support and resistance. I mean, I know that the institutions, I don't know exactly how they use it, but I know they use it. They use VWAP in some way, shape, or form. So I'm just kind of trying to dig into their head and say, well, if I were throwing a 500 $1,000 order on, where would I want to see those dynamic supports and resistance? So they work great though. I've been back testing the heck out of this, and it, yeah, as you can see on that example on the daily, I mean, it just bounces right off. And like I said, over here on the 4 hour, you know, I mean, it just kind of stair steps all the way up. Look at that, touches here, and then currently this is where we're at. So I'm just looking to see if it'll help me out on this trade. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
Awesome. That's a beautiful, beautiful setup you've got there.
Yeah. Get in this thing real quick.
All right, I've got something setting up on Bitcoin right now. I've just placed an order on this, a pending order. Oh, you've got me up. Awesome. So it hasn't yet triggered. So just a bit of an overview of what I'm looking at here. So right now, with yesterday's trade, what I mentioned was this initial sell opportunity at this bearish order block, right? So again, just that bigger picture.
So we might just go full ham on this one, is what we're probably
going to do. So it's two things I'm
do.
anticipating. Yesterday, my original anticipation
still breaking
is
up really
price
hard.
would trade into this fair value gap, which has already done so. Okay, so that fair value gap right there has been taken out. Okay. And then after trading into that fair value gap, what I'm anticipating is a reaction away from this range. There is a likelihood the market could come maybe a little bit lower today.
Look at that crazy
and we
drop.
could see price potentially close deep into that range. And then over the weekend, we could see the market accumulate. But at some point,
Order filled.
A bullish continuation towards 109,000. So that's my next bullish target for Bitcoin dollar. So that's just more of an intraday perspective. But I like to trade what I see, like in a moment. So what I see, what I saw yesterday, was the market gave this initial bearish break to the downside. It's a very classic structure on Bitcoin. I know right now, if you're looking at this just without any sort of just naked, right? One thing that's pretty evident is that Bitcoin is accumulated, right? So this is your accumulatory range from this low to this high, right? It's a very clear accumulation.
This is where I would typically
course,
lose control.
Like what I would advise with most traders,
lose my mind, lose my accounts, break the accounts.
Particularly when it's accumulated, is stay away from it. But price action can be readable within accumulatory ranges like this. So what looks messy to one trader, for me, I see some sort of order and structure. And the rules of accumulation ranges are very simple, right? Price would always go from buy side to sell side and sell side to buy side. So price would take out a prior high, like in this case, and then it would run for prior low, like in this case, and then it will run back and then take out. So in this case, it came back into this imbalance, took out this previous high before coming back down, created a new low, took out that low right there. So what I'm anticipating now is the market to run towards a short-term high, which coincide with this bearish order block. And then after taking out that high, I'm anticipating a run back down to sell side liquidity pool. And of course, the most recent sell side pool is the low that was created at the start of, literally that was created a few minutes ago. And then of course you have the low of the day, which was created in Asia. So I'm anticipating price to essentially potentially give a move towards that low, so towards the low of the day. So that's essentially what the very simplistic idea is behind the trade, because of course, like there is the cycle, and right now the cycle on the 30 and the 15 minutes is bearish. So I'm simply looking to trade in line with that bearish continuation. And my pending order is, oops, I'm still on the marker. My pending order is at the most recent unmitigated bearish order block, right? So the most recent unmitigated bearish order block is where my pending order is, stop above the high. And then again, there is a likelihood that price could give a 1, 2, 3. I'm going to be monitoring this. Like for me, the main target is this low, but I want to see how strong a shift is. Price could give a very aggressive shift like it did for gold when gold broke below that daily low. So price could give a very aggressive shift below that daily low. We've seen price tap below this low twice. Not only twice, but we have also a relatively equal low down here with this low. So again, if we see a very strong shift, a very strong break, then there is a likelihood the price could trade all the way down to this unmitigated. So if we go down to the 15 minutes,
high movement
there's an
of
unmitigated
price
version
action
on
in
right
comparison
there.
to the volume.
And that's what I'm anticipating the market
move that
to
away from my
essentially
face.
find some sort of a support.
I guess I should
So
sit up.
that's the general
greatest.
trade
So, yeah,
on Bitcoin.
When you have like
So right now it's
a
like
high
the market
movement
will eventually get rebalanced.
with
So right now,
low
like what I love accumulatory
volume,
ranges is market is
typically
always
it
going to be seeking
means
to
that
rebalance
all
itself
of
at some
the
point
buying
in the near future.
or
And then
selling
for
has,
gold is
finished,
again
like
there's
you
a
see
very specific setup in my playbook for trading reversal like this. Like so, as I mentioned at the start of today's session, I was
just
like,
because
yeah,
there's no
right
more
now waiting for that
resistance.
third
There's
leg
no
to
more,
confirm, which it's now done. So price is now
you know, they're
confirmed
buying.
that third low
It's
in the
just moving up.
cycle.
Nobody's-
It's in a very strong reaction to the upside, but
nobody's
it's not
resisting,
yet
nobody's
ready. So
selling.
right, this is now cooking for that sort of reversal trade, that contraction trade that could happen in New York session today. So
story,
there's two areas
though,
of
we gotta
interest. My
figure out
first
what the
area of
story of
interest
the bias
was this
is,
bearish
though.
order block. So from this bearish order block, I'm anticipating a rejection. So as I mentioned earlier, like there's one or two possible scenarios that I'm anticipating. There's like one or two structures. First is where the market could come back down, deliver a lower low, and
I
then
need to be
after that
smart
lower low,
here.
we
I
could
gotta
see
stop
a
guessing
final
on
break
the
to the
market.
upside, a retest, and then a sort of a continuation. So like break, retest, continuation, trade opportunity.
That's why this
or
one
we
is
could
the
see the
way it
market
is,
deliver
'cause I
a
just
higher low.
wait for
And then
a
after that
really good
higher low, we
setup.
could see a break to the upside. And then
haven't
after
really
that
had
break,
a really good setup.
a retest and a continuation. Now, in this case, I'm leaning towards the higher low structure taking place. And it's not just based on like just guesswork, right? There's a reason for that. So the price action reason is two reasons. One, I look for little fingerprints of where the market. So it's like price likes to play ping pong. So I've seen the pong. So I've seen the ping. The ping for me is this bearish order block. Now what I want to identify is the pong. So where's the market going to come back down and bounce off from? So the first area of interest for me is very easy to miss, but it's just the point between these two candles.
Basically, very
If we
low
go down
volume for
to the
amount
lower
of
time
movement
frame,
up right
that
now.
point has a
So
very
let's just
specific
find out.
meaning.
We've been on an uptrend.
So on the 3 minutes time
With
frame,
that being
there are
the
two things at
case-
that point that I'm very interested in. The first is the fact that is where the point where the market breaks structure on the 5 minutes time frame. So on the 5 minutes time frame, we can see the market has given a bullish break to the upside. So on the 3 minutes time frame, price is giving a bullish break to the upside, and also the same on the 5 minutes time frame. So that's a point where we've seen the market giving a clear break to the upside. Secondly, the market before giving that break created something called an interchange zone. So interchange zone is a very specific order block as well that I look for, but it only works within the right context. And the context that it usually works in are reversal scenarios. So an interchange zone coincided with
Really
a
hope
very
this plays
strong
out.
Aggressive move
Again, I'm
in
over
a
here
singular
guessing when it
direction,
shouldn't be.
and anticipation of, and at the
Hoping
end
for
of
a
a bearish
drop.
cycle, at the end of a bullish cycle, is for me usually a good area to trade off. So what I'm going to do, so one of the setups I have in my playbook is this basically. So is where I've seen a rejection, I've seen a reaction on that third
Could
leg.
just bounce
I've
here.
seen the market traded into the most
Looks
recent
like it will,
bearish
and
order
then
block.
take out
B.
my trade.
The next
Should it
is
stay
price is
in?
given a bullish break of structure on the 5 minutes and the 3 minutes time frame. C. Price has formed an interchange zone.
Waiting
D.
for this bounce.
My pending
See what
order
happens.
goes at the interchange zone with my stop loss going below the lowest low, right?
We're in this
And
trade
then
here.
I'm simply, so again, this is simply just a contraction, right? I'm not anticipating a full-scale reversal, especially as it's a Friday and the major move has already happened. But what I'm anticipating is some sort of a bullish contraction, which would take the low of that daily BST. So essentially, because the market has broken below the daily range, it could just come back and retest what it's already broken. So I'm simply going to be looking to take a long to the low of that daily range. A very simple trade. So it's looking at a potential 1 to 3 risk to reward on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to also place a pending order right there. 2 seconds.
All right, it's struggling
All right, so
here.
Bitcoin came up. It's now sort of like bounced back down, but we'll see. We'll see if it pulls even higher. I'm not going to chase that. So going to gold. Right, I'm going to silver. There we go. All right, so that's coming down quite fast, which is nice. I like to see fast price action. Usually a very, very good sign. So that's my interchange, looking to go long from the high of the block, low of the range, target the daily SST that was broken. So I'm just going to go back to my daily time frame, just going to correct that level because that's from a previous session to right there. There we go. All right. It's a very simple, straightforward setup.
Guess we should have stayed
And then
in.
just
We'll
going to
find out
create a
right now. If
pending
it
order.
breaks above this, then we're going to probably get out. To be honest.
1% buy limit done. Right. So that's that on go. I'm not sure if you guys had anything else you wanted to
It looks like it's
add
actually
onto this.
doing. That's no good.
Yeah,
want it to break
Bitcoin,
down.
yeah. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Bitcoin,
we have a.
yeah, Bitcoin not triggered yet.
What's that?
Yeah. Now Bitcoin hasn't triggered yet. Right now, it's still short, but again, it's just sort of bouncing around. It could very much just keep dropping. It may not retest and mitigate. It could just drop down and retest this unmitigated block, and then we could see. Because again, that the stronger bias I have for this right now is to the upside. So the selling is a little bit more on the risky side. It's just trying to like grab like a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 as like that exhaustion of this bearish contraction range. But for me, the true move is to the upside. So what I'm anticipating now is potentially over the weekend, this could happen is where the market breaks below these equal lows, and then after breaking below these lows, we could then see, obviously after that rejection, we could then see a break of structure to the upside, and then a retest, and then that would be the beginning indication of that sort of like bullish continuation towards higher highs. So that's what I see right now. So this is a very, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of like an AMD model, so accumulation, manipulation, distribution.
Looks like it's bouncing up.
It's very similar to
get out. And
so
if it does trap
Wyckoff has a very similar model. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating on Bitcoin. It's an AMD model. So if I go back to
trade here,
a second.
Yeah, that's essentially what I used with the master pattern. It's really an indicator that came out of the Wyckoff theory and accumulation distribution.
Right.
So it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a great way to show you, or it's a great way to see if you're buying under value or over value. So,
absolutely.
Because I use it in conjunction with supply and demand. So
and then you see
it's just like a 1-2.
And exactly. So it works beautifully in conjunction with supply and demand. Supply and demand are variations of order blocks as well. So you cannot just use it. You cannot just use it.
Order filled.
Order filled. Like one thing I realized when traders learn about AMDs, they're always trying to look for AMDs, which is like AMDs wouldn't always happen. Before an AMD, you need a period of accumulation. So like in this case, and then after that period of accumulation, the next move typically is the manipulative move away from that range. So right now that accumulation has taken place, I'm anticipating that bearish manipulation to the downside into a key area of liquidity. So again, it has to go to an area of very, very important supply. And then after that, I'm anticipating the distribution to the upside. In this case, the distribution will be in line with distributions are almost always in line with the higher time frame. So again, there is like that sort of like higher time frame context that should flow into that lower time frame price action.
Yeah, and the best part is on TradingView, it's a free indicator. If you want, I can actually share my screen with you real quick.
Yes.
Oh, please. Yeah, go for it.
I'll show you what I use, because I don't think I've shown you two since I've been on stream. So let's do that real quick. Excellent way to figure out if you're, under or over value. So yeah, I mean, if I turn off my order block tool real quick, that's the master pattern indicator. It's really just a derivative of the Wyckoff theory and, like I said, market structure. So it just gives you an actionable way of using it. So let me turn off my order block on my daily. So yeah. So we've got the blue boxes are the major contraction points. Okay. So it just means leg out on the top side and then leg out on the bottom side. That's what turns it blue. A minor contraction box is the orange one. So that's where it's moved up, but it's just yet to come down.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Below it. So, you know, the theory is obviously the big banks push up and to collect liquidity, push down to collect liquidity before ultimately finding their trend phase, which is the same thing as
Now we're seeing
accumulation
it the opposite
distribution.
direction.
So one thing though is when you see a major contraction box on a daily,
How do I
the
close?
goal really is to try to get into that trend fairly, you know, fairly close to when it actually broke above, just as an example. So in other words, what I mean is by buying up here, like I've got my limit order set, my buy limit order here, or stop market, I'm sorry.
Order filled.
It's higher away than obviously trying to buy down here. So in other words, the farther away from the box you go, the lower the odds are, the lower the probability is of your
probability.
So for me, I like to look at it on a daily, but when it comes to my
if this trade happens, that's great.
Obviously,
we'll be
I
back
personally,
but if not, we're done.
Use the 4 hour for my demand zone.
Done.
But I like to go down to a 1 hour and even a 30-minute to see if I'm undervalued or overvalued. So, you know, right now it's right on the value line for 2 straight major contraction boxes. So it essentially can act as a support as well.
That was
but
terrible
I ultimately
trading, by
like
the
to
way.
be
Don't
under.
follow
So
that
on a
at
30-minute,
That's
there's
disgusting.
where a major contraction is.
Disgusting.
Broke below, broke above. So theoretically, anywhere under here that I buy
is we're gonna take
is undervalued
out
related to that
this
most recent
area
contraction point. When you see, like I've
755,
got here,
I
I've
guess
got
we
another
should've
one
stayed
further back
in.
in time.
As you could see, we would
that can essentially be
fine.
A way of using a stop loss if you're getting into the order up here somewhere. So, but it also acts as a dynamic support resistance. So, you know, and as you can see, this is just kind of bouncing off that line right there. And not to mention, obviously, the demand zone, which I'm looking to buy. I've already got my limit order set. So, as far as gold goes, I mean, if I get up to this area, then my order is going to trigger and I'll be in that. But yeah, I like it because I'm undervalued in relation to the recent contraction points.
Exactly. Yeah.
So love it. Love that. I love that indicator. Good stuff. But
now that's what's that indicator called?
Oh, it's let me just go back. Sorry, I should have.
Master pattern.
Yeah, master pattern. So if I share my screen one more time real quick here, whenever it comes up. Yeah. So it's the master pattern indicator. Actually, the easiest, let me see here. I think I should be able to put it in the comments here. So let me, master pattern. Yeah, right here. So here's what I'll do. I'll just copy that. It'll kind of show how it
Order
works.
filled.
And I'll just
order filled.
I think I could put it in the comments. Let me see. Oh, I can't do it in the regular, but I can do it in the private chat. So I'll just put that there because I think I
Order
shared that with
submitted
Richard yesterday. Let's do this. Copy.
That's awesome. I'll definitely take a look at that. But one thing is, like, there was a time when I had all kind of indicators on my charts, but as of my recent years of trading, I've tried to go as naked as possible because now it just allows me to focus more on price action. And like the only indicator I have on my chart now is the 800 EMA, which acts as an area for me of a dynamic support and resistance, very similar to the VWAP. But like I used to have a lot of indicators, and I realized that price, like for me, reading price action actually comes quite easy, and it's something that having less stuff allows me to focus more on what price is telling me.
Order
in the moment,
filled.
and sort of like to go with that.
Yeah, I prefer the naked charts too. I mean, really, that's the only two main ones I use is just the master pattern and the order block. Because I mean, like I told the guys yesterday, I mean, my first 10 years of trading, I was just manually mapping out all my supply and demand zones. But it's just nice to be able to, if I just turn off my master pattern real quick. Yeah, it's just nice to just be able to turn it on and see them at a glance, because then I don't have to necessarily go and put my rectangles in anymore and push it out into the future. I can just go down to whatever time frame that I want to look at, and they'll just all populate.
And it's there. Yeah. That's really cool. That's actually pretty Really, it's a very efficient tool.
It is.
100%
It is. Saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
A lot of time. But yeah, I've got that limit order in, so we'll just see if it triggers on silver.
Yes. So guys, I can share the screen just to show you what I'm looking right now. Two things that I want to show right now, just to remove some things. So the first thing that happens that I just want to share is related to the British pound dollar, because there is a half hour passed after the US Open and we broke the trend line. So the British pound dollar is going down. British pound dollar is going down very near to this trend line. Maybe this can go through this, and in that case there is a high probability that in Monday we have a little bit bearish day for euro dollar and British pound dollar, and the bullish push for the US dollar index just for the recovery. So I will keep my trade. I will keep my sell British pound dollar order, and I will try to see which target I can reach. I would like to see 1.366, but I will take what markets gives me. So I will wait for that. Anyway, so right now on the chart, I have a choppiness index. This is one of the indicators that sometimes I'm using that just to know when to avoid trading, you know. So I will just give you one example. So today, for example, choppiness index is very, very simple. It's use a logarithm for the average true range. And if you are above 50, that means that you're in choppy market. If you're below 50, you are in the trend market. More down, bigger trend, more up, bigger sideways. Really, really simple. And as the highest level, because we were, I think, more than 12 hours in the range of the 30 pips, and nothing happens. So we just moved from the
right now.
1.372 to 1.3745 and just moved 12 hours around that levels. And this is why that happens. And right now we are starting to go down because side just right now. So this is something that I very often use as an indicator. And one indicator that I use occasionally, just to figure out the market and not to miss something, is one of the indicators that I really like is a retest indicator from Algo Alpha, breakout retest.
Got your own indicator.
So that indicator, it works very, very simple. It's finding the support and resistance levels, some important price levels, and wait to market to retest. And for example, we had this is British this morning, and then we has a push of the 4 bullish candles after that, or we go maybe 4 hours. It's not 100% accuracy, it's just an indicator, but sometimes it's very good because you can see some important price level that sometimes you can miss, you cannot see.
That's crazy. That's not good.
And that,
come on,
that is
we're not doing this.
Sometimes I will just go to the NASDAQ and long when the market is a little bit bearish or sideways. For example, look this. This was the June 5th, and we had a few half day of the big drop in the stock market just to the simple moving average, and then we touch that important price level, we got a bullish, and this is the good
How do I get rid of some of these
thing. There's some drop, and this indicator sometimes help me to find a nice level to enter into trade after some kind of the drop. And this is the very easy to do usually, because if you analyze the stock market and indices, for example, 60% of all days during the year we are bullish, and only 40% of the days we are bearish. And there is always bigger chance, if you just trade on that logic, that you can be more profitable if you make buy orders in the industry markets. So because that's the best companies in the US. So this is the something that I just wanted to share with you. And this indicator is very powerful if you use on futures market. I will just show you, for example, this is the British pound dollar futures, and what you have the real volumes, and then you can calculate that volumes, and then you can know if the volume is bigger for that zone, that support resistance is more significant, and usually bigger push you will have after that. And sometimes I like to watch that and to use in trading. So it can be very, very, very interesting. Either not just on the 4-hour chart, you can use in the 1-hour chart, for example, as well. You can find interesting levels. For example, look this. We retest and after that everything changed, and we start to go up again. Morning. This is the something that but it's good to make a combination with your perception, your scenario, your bias, and everything. And this should be only additional trigger or to find some good level. Nothing fancy, nothing more than that. So it's a great tool. But guys, I just hear from you. You're absolutely right. We should avoid to have too much indicators on the chart. Make a chart.
Stop filled.
2 indicators just enough. But sometimes when I do analysis, especially if I do during the weekends,
where is my stop loss?
I can use this indicator just to find important levels, because we will again retest that level. We will retest this level maybe a couple times in next few days or weeks. So it's a good just to know which level is that, and to wait other time for the reaction. For example, right now British pound dollar can go down, and we can have the whole day down, and in one moment we can create up. So this level here, which was support, now will be resistance, and maybe we will retest and go down again, and maybe we'll break and go up again. So it's good to know. And sometimes, very often, I miss some levels. I don't the chart.
Yeah.
Yes.
It helps to sort of fill the gaps. You know, there are times when your eyes may not see something, but of course that indicator can help you to sort of see what you may be missing. By the way, this pound dollar looks like such an amazing opportunity to sell right now. Like, I mean, there's crazy divergence on the RSI, and you mentioned as well that euro dollar gave a higher high. This didn't give a higher high, which is an example of SMT divergence.
Like there was a lot of buying.
It's like just like
right
you've said a few times. This is something that if I was to trade in FX, I definitely would be lined up to be selling pound dollar as well. Because like the price action,
Order
filled confirmation just lines up really, really well with the shorts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but there is one problem trading on Fridays, and this is the problem that I just journaling every single Friday for myself. So on other days, they can happen that we touch some low and we end the day with that low, and then last few hours of the Friday we start to go up and we finish the day in the middle. You will see how many dojo candles we can find on Fridays, for example, and how many candles. Just you see that you're not on the low, you're not on the high, you're somewhere middle, and this is why I do not have so big expectation from this trade today. I know we are pushing low, we have a bearish divergence, we break the trend line. I know maybe it'll be false push up or down, but I know that maybe this day we will finish somewhere in the middle. So no problem. I will keep my trade for the Monday, because in Monday I will expect to see continuation of that bearish trend, just because we didn't hit the target from the Thursday, and this will be my guidance for this Friday.
Yeah, Fridays are always one of those days where the market can be, especially as it goes closer towards the end of the market, it can be very temperamental. That's why I used to have a rule where I didn't take trades on Fridays, but now my rule is if I can get a nice trade. That's why once I see a nice trade early in Asia session, and then out of the market in profit, I don't attempt to take anything in London or New York, because I know that the more I expose myself to the market on Friday, that it increases the likelihood of me being sort of in a chop that could hold over the weekend, and then on Monday we could see a move away from that chop.
Yeah. Yes, nice thing. I remember I was working in one prop company a decade ago, and on the wall there was a message, and that message was do not buy Friday's high, do not sell Friday's low, and that was on the wall. And I remember that because a lot of traders they pushed their trades during the Friday and just went empty hands. So this is why we just need to be either outside, either if we catch some high for bearish move, or there's some low for the bullish move, and this is it.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of people are taking their profits, so
exactly. People are taking a profit. They're getting out the market for the weekend. Yeah. There's a graveyard of traders that have tried to catch a big, the lows or the highs on Fridays, and they failed, and they've given a portion of their weekly profit away on a Friday. I was there in my early days in trading. I did that quite a lot. I would have a nice week, and then on Friday I'd give all of it away. And then I was like, okay, that's a problem. So I started finding a way to prevent that. I stopped trading on a Friday, but now I'm at a point where I can trade on a Friday without risking doing that, because I understand it's also a psychological thing as well. It's understanding that the psychology of trading on a Friday is not the same as the psychology of trading on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Tuesday. And it's when you tap into the psychology of the market movement, then it also affects your behavior. Little things I've seen a trade on the morning, I'm not going to take a trade in the afternoon. So you kind of know when to sort of step away and just sort of be like, okay, no, this is not a trade for me today.
Yeah, it'd be a good reminder. It'd be a good item to put in everybody's Friday calendar, so it alerts at you. Do not buy the high. Do not sell the low.
Do not buy the high. Do not sell the low. No. As common sense as that sounds, is not common practice.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter what you look at. You always get those spikes. So,
yes.
No, that's a good one. Well, I got into my silver trade, so we'll see how she blows. I'm on obviously the higher time frame, so I don't mind holding it for the weekend. But
I was the silver. I was the performance doing right now on it.
It's just kind of going. I mean, it hasn't really moved yet. Hasn't really been in very long. It just got in about 5 minutes ago.
Jake, sorry.
It's just right
what's going on? Sorry, I'm all in this trade, in a bad trade over here.
By the way, so gold is about to.
I don't know what I did. I did something stupid
on this long position. So We'll see how this
bias
rolls.
for
Come on, baby, just a little bit more, little bit more.
Keep
and we're good to
going.
go. And
It's
Bitcoin,
stupid. I'm still learning.
Bitcoin kind of
Jakes, how's it going?
decided to run away, left me behind. You know, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna tag you in on this one.
You know what?
Just
I'll
tease
go
you
to
on your
work
own.
late, 15 minutes.
Just
'cause
tease
you're
me
here,
and then ran
just
off.
so we
you
can
know?
see. This is
It
what you
happens
should
from
not
time to
do.
time, you see? You
This
just
is
gotta let it go.
my gamble account, and
Never
somehow I'm
chase.
trading that.
Never
Same
chase.
way
Never
on
chase.
on my
Replace, don't chase.
one that I'm trying to pass here.
Exactly. Replace
This
on
one
chase.
has
That's the
been
rule.
the let's just
Yeah,
be
so I
smart.
think with this, I'm gonna leave it
only good
until
trades, and we can see that
like
we're
after
still
I
up.
used to trade Bitcoin
We were
over the
doing
weekend,
great this week.
but my girlfriend
we
had
had
too
one
much
really
of a
rough
go at me for doing
negative
that.
day.
She hated me for
2
looking at
days
charts
ago,
on the
and
weekends.
today
Like,
might
yeah, it was
be
meant to
a
be our
second
time
rough
together. I was
negative
like,
day.
oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I will stop trading on a
Yesterday
Saturday.
The
was
same
good.
thing for my girlfriend.
And we're just not doing so well.
We're looking at your
How's it going?
Forex.
Thank you for the raid. You're awesome. I probably missed
Well,
the sound. if
quit
there
buying
was
you
sound.
shit all the time. Maybe I'll stop looking at
And I
it.
tell her, I said,
Sometimes you
Forex
say
is
it at
closed.
work.
I'm not looking at Forex. I'm looking at Bitcoin.
Exactly. We're looking at Bitcoin.
let's
Get your
hope-
markets right.
Let's hope
Or quit
this,
looking at stocks. I'm like, I don't trade stocks.
God
What are you talking
forbid I
about?
say that. I'll be on the couch.
does what we do. We're hoping for a down, actually, all the way down through. I don't know
The same,
that
the same
that's going to
story
happen.
is with me, and sometimes I monitor
We're just kind of
Trump
guessing.
tweets,
and the reason
because
why
he
we're
moves
doing
the
that, I'll show
market,
you
and
right now is if we
that,
bring this up.
that's insane sometimes.
Oh,
yes.
we can't do it that
My
way because
girlfriend
I've got a
picked on me.
super
She's like, "Who are
huge-
you cheating on? Who are you cheating with? What are you looking at on your computer?" Don't worry, I'm
Let's
too
try the
nerdy to
30
do
minute.
that.
Does that
That's
show?
just trading.
No.
Well,
Yeah, I think
you
it's
are
about
technically
15
cheating. You are cheating with the markets. You know, you are giving it more of your time and energy and devotion
That's
and
cool.
affection
We do the
as well.
30.
And where that emotion
So
and
anyways,
affection comes in, that's where the cheating
This
takes
happens
place. Man.
every
It's
so
emotional
often. We
cheating.
get
It's emotional.
ones that start to go lower.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
And
Yes.
I'd say half of the time is that we've noticed. We're just kind of
Lord.
Nice.
figuring this
Wow.
out.
So,
Half of the
what do we
times
do?
that we
Guys,
go
we're
just a little
end of
under
the
or
session
about the
right
same, we start
now.
to have this.
So I just want to thank you for
move
this
down
nice
when you
and
have the
cheerful session today,
orb.
and nice setups that you just show. Thank you a lot, Tiger and Walter, and I wish you the great
So that's
weekend.
what we
And
thought
Robert
when
and
we hit
others
here.
that
We
Thanks
you
a lot,
thought
watch
guys.
this
really
live
bad
session.
buys.
I want
Here
to have a beautiful weekend.
we did okay.
So,
here we
This is it, my guys.
we made ourselves
We will
out.
see you next week.
We got out with
Adios.
positivity.
See you all next week.
Day
Okay,
yesterday.
have a wonderful weekend, guys.
But we struggled.
All right,
we
bye-bye.
actually
Have a
just
good one.
lost right away.
Bye.
We didn't get the pass through, which is usually what I like to trade. I like to trade and see. We haven't had it over the past couple days, but usually I like as soon as it starts to come through, I take the trade all the way down. Usually it passes through. Obviously it didn't do it there. It does here, here, here. So half of the time, as you can see, most of the time it does. It's just, it seems like when we're on an uptrend, it doesn't always do that. But that's typically what we trade, is the pass through the 15-minute orb. That has been the strategy that's been working so far, and not so much lately. Not this week. We had 2 good weeks of positive weeks. We ended. Oh, look at that. What we're hoping for. We'll bring this back through. And I'm hoping that we get. We accidentally put a trade in that didn't have a stop loss. See if we can't get this to fix ourselves. So we had this crazy imbalance right here, and that's actually what we're targeting. We did take a trade that got us back into tradable area. We need to get out of this trade here, the one without a stop loss, before we leave to work, and we probably should have took that out. This is actually in profit from where it actually took it at, and now that's not looking so good. You know how that goes. It seems like, and this is what I'm just using. I just started using this the other couple days. It's just to fix every 15 minutes, just to kind of see what. See, there's another imbalance right here, right? But I thought that was kind of taken out from here. So that's probably the case. I notice And I've been doing this the days that we've been losing. And I notice I'm like reverting back to some of my old habits and then starting to use it over here as well. We were positive up until yesterday. Basically on this account or a gamble account, we were like $200 down for the week. And then starting today or yesterday. And I'm starting to trade bigger contracts. This one resets on if it's failed, it resets on the 30th. It's supposed to be the 1st, but I like to have it beforehand. I think it says 24 hours you get a free reset. So you know, I'm just super gambling on this one, to be honest. This is my gamble account, so I kind of see it as like, you know what, if it works it works, doesn't it doesn't, you know. But we do need to get out of this one trade. We are trading Apex Funded Trader here. Trader Funded. We do what you were hearing was we were watching Hola Prime's if you want to learn how to trade. Every day, except for the weekend, Hola Prime was one of the prop firms that I was supposed to be reviewing and should make a review video of. But what they do is every day they have their coaches, which if you join the Discord, right now I still think they have free 1 hour sessions or half-hour sessions. You can with any of the coaches. They have a morning session at 6:15 till now that just finished at 7:45. The next session I think starts at like 8:30 or 9 and then it goes until like 10 or maybe it's 8, I don't know. And then 10 to 11:30 is the closing session, but there are coaches you can ask questions and they actually know what they're doing. Sometimes they have, you know, negative trades just like anybody else. I tend to sometimes I'll probably lose some of these other accounts here because I tend to take the trades that they lose and not the ones that they win. All right, come on, let's at least get out of this trade. This is the trade that I want to get out of right here. I don't remember where. Let's see what this order says here. 22820. Actually, I think that's where I took the trade at. This is where our position is now, I think. This is where we took the other. I don't know. Anyways, this is gonna get us out, hopefully. I kind of want to move it down, but I do have to get to work, so let's watch that one get taken out. Sweet. So now we're strictly in profit here. Oh yes, baby, let's take that. Oh, that took the one that had the stop loss. That's no. Why you do this to me? But anyways, now we're in profit. Let's go. I kind of want to just get out now. I think we're in. We're going to work late. We're in. It's doing what we thought it was gonna do. Okay, we're in at least till here. Oh my gosh! See how it took out that imbalance? Like I said, it just did. Okay, I think that'll be a stop loss. There it goes. We're out with very little profit. Exciting. We have this one going. We started trading with 10 contracts and then I wasn't sure what was happening at the top, so I didn't trade that one, and now we're reaping the consequences of that. But just like I said, what happened is we did just take that out right there. Exciting. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes. We should probably close that out right there because we don't want that trigger. Sometimes we know. Sometimes we know. If this breaks down underneath this, we will probably that's probably not the place to do that, honestly. All right, so if it comes up here, we'll probably hit a resistance zone here, so we'll probably be like bam. Should probably take profit. You know what? We're gonna leave that one in. We have this coming all the way down, almost through the orb. I kind of want to. Sure, why not? Let's take that here. It's gonna come back up all the way. Let's just get out.
Stop filled.
Stop filled.
I should have got out here. We will take a
Order submitted.
sale here. Again with the 10 contracts. Kind of want to see where that will work out to. That's pretty wild though. If we break underneath this point right here, I will probably do another limit order.
Order
right
submitted.
there. Actually, I'll probably take it right there. That's where I'm taking it.
Order filled.
Stop filled.
And we're just gonna hope for the best. Get through R1. Wait till it passes this section here. We'll put a stop loss here. That should bust our money back through that. I kind of want to take this sell again, but I'm probably gonna wait. I want to be smart about this one because I do kind of want to pass these ones here. We're almost. I think we're about halfway through the month. We've been taking that one slow as well. We'll probably put a stop loss there. We'll move another one down right in here just in case it decides it wants to swing up now. If it does swing up, it'll probably swing up there. We're sort of bouncing. This is really solid. This is solid. Actually, I might be super late to work now because if we I want to watch this bounce down and bounce back up, and then I'll take the trade. Kind of want to take this opportunity to take this bounce, get back in probably around here. And then we'll add another
Order submitted.
10 there. Right up in this area where people normally put their losses at. And we'll see how that goes. I'm legit waiting for this. Just like we've seen earlier, a lot of times when it bounces in here and it rejects, we're coming all the way back down, and that's the move. I'll actually probably take that trade on our when we're trying to pass here as well. Pretty stoked that, yeah, that's gonna get taken out. If it doesn't, we'll close these ones out and we'll be good. All right, it's gonna take that out.
Order
Stop
canceled.
filled.
Oh, it's canceled the other ones? That's crazy. We're just gonna take this one then.
Order submitted.
We'll take that one. And we'll take a limit of, wow, shoot, I should have just got back in right there. Oh, why do I do that? That's crazy, right? You see? Let's hope for a swing up that takes this right here on this line. Let's hope for a wild swing, a quick wild swing. Let's see what we're doing here. One more 30-second. You can see what I guess we'll just drop it real quick. See what kind of volume system. We might actually come all the way up to right here. We're probably gonna move that up to there. This is probably where a lot of people have stop losses, so we might see a big swing to that. So we're probably gonna just do that. We will truck along with that swing. Yeah, right into here. Maybe it might even go up that high, but dude, my shoulder hurts. Jake's POV. You're awesome. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, like a lot. Really, really appreciate it. Makes me feel a little better about myself. I'm not gonna lie, it really does. All right, we can't be too late to work. Unfortunately, we do start at 6:30 if we're on time. We have been this week just because we've been house sitting, and then we drive here to get ready for work. If you're still here and there's somebody you want me to raid, I will definitely raid them. Bonds and stocks. How do I find the categories?
Yanni, you are muted, I
Stocks
believe.
and bonds, I think it is.
Well, that's a good thing because I was slagging you off big time.
You never muted it before.
Oh, gosh.
How's your gambling addiction, Mr. Gallo?
Non-existent,
Why
my
don't we
friend.
have any-
Non-existent.
You want to
Luckily.
talk about it? You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I think that's what this session's going to be about entirely.
All right. Well, how was your
Alright,
trading
this
week?
is what I'm talking
I can
about
tell
right
you,
here, guys.
how Paul will know how my trading has been. I haven't really placed any trades on a from a personal point of view.
Actually,
I placed
Paul
a couple of
and Jamie
crappy
is
trades
pretty
during
awesome.
the
If you want
session,
some
but I made
crypto
it clear it's
stuff,
not good trades. How about you? How was your week in terms of
Jamie,
setups? How did you find the week?
Paul
Because you
is
just look
amazing.
at that one market, right?
very smart.
Yeah. So for me, it was pretty good. I could have executed better, especially today.
Ooh, there it is. Stocks and bonds.
But
Let's see.
overall, it was good. I saw
Yeah, I
the
really
market super
appreciate-
clearly.
I really do.
It was just I was a little bit too picky with seeing my levels come into fruition, and then
Let's see if we can't
feeling
find somebody
that
has
that
a camera.
sometimes
I
you
always like
get
to
that
do
feeling
it with
to
somebody that
chase a
has a
little
camera.
bit, just a little bit. The stop loss reward still makes a little bit of sense. Like you can still get roughly 2 to 1, but it's still not your optimal entry. And I think that what I had to learn from this week was
His video is paused.
I chased a
unfortunately.
tiny bit, which didn't give me as best of that ratio, and so I calmed down. And I already had lower position size because I wanted to go into this week just
Who
trading with
trades?
a lower position size. So, but it's been good.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned about you were a bit too picky. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think is that sometimes it
I
just
really
doesn't come
want
to you.
somebody
And
that has a camera
if it doesn't come
just
to you, it doesn't
because
come to
I
you,
like
right? You just
that
you just wait until
to be a thing.
it does come to you, and it will. Maybe not today, but next time when you identify a level and you know that's a very good level, you'll get it. Right? And then those are the trades. But for me, like this week has not been very. I just couldn't find any decent opportunities. But I saw the NASDAQ. It's just the NASDAQ just broke through that all-time high and just hasn't looked back.
That's crazy.
Right? Yeah, so I was hoping for a retest, but we're pretty far away from, well, not that on the 4 hour, I think. Let me share my screen.
God, this guy
So
traded the
we
orb as
can have a
well.
look at the NASDAQ.
I'm gonna turn
Welcome
him
to
up
all the viewers, both of you.
in a sec.
All right. The breakout, right? This is the all-time high through this breakout. So I don't think it's. I actually like these kind of arcs, right? If we can get
Let them know
back
I'll
to
see them in a
to
few.
that all-time high support level, that would make for a very, very good setup. But that could take a couple of days, maybe next week sometime, because this was from it broke out on the
Oh, I
25th.
don't like this
2 days ago,
chat
so
only stuff.
could,
I'm
if
sorry,
we could
man.
get like 2 or 3 days
totally
back
would
to the
trade.
support level, then
Wait a
that
minute.
would be a very, very nice level for
Wait a minute.
opportunity to go long for
Is this guy
sure.
trading big money?
And who's here? Yo, Robert, I'm about to leave for work. Oh man, sorry to hear that, Robert. Yeah, so that would make for a very good opportunity.
Well,
what do you think of that,
I'm not a
Mr.
fan of
Gallo?
the follower only thing. So this guy
Not bad,
does not
I
get
believe.
it.
But the only thing I'm concerned about is when I look at, instead of the continuous chart on the
Let's
NASDAQ,
find
when I'm looking
somebody
at the
that has a
NASDAQ
camera.
September contract specifically, we are essentially retouching the highs of the September
We got this guy.
contract. So
we're gonna take this guy. I'm sorry.
I'm kind
if
of
he,
hesitant because I think the cash
or she
markets
is
and the
not the
future and the
best.
continuous chart on the futures markets,
I really-
especially for
really
both
do
the S&P
appreciate-
500 and the
All right.
and
Do we
the
know how to
NASDAQ,
rate? Still?
they're a little bit
Yeah.
in
Yeah, we do.
argument with each other.
All right, we're rating
So
trading the
which
forecast.
high you want to believe is
Give this guy some loves. Thank you, Jakes. You're
the
awesome.
game right now.
All the loves.
And
Thank you. Thank you.
so, but regardless,
Amazing.
I think that's a little bit of a pullback on the NASDAQ
And
by,
we're
let's say, on the U25 contracts, it would be about 200-ish points or so where we would like to see consolidation before another move upwards. That would be nice
Yeah.
to get long.
And how do you typically find Fridays? Do you typically?
You broke up there a little bit. What'd you say? Sorry.
Really?
It was just a tiny bit. Yeah.
Hello.
For me. Oh, there.
Hello.
I hear you now. You're good. So,
Okay.
were you saying how do I typically trade on Fridays?
No, yeah. Do you typically trade on Fridays or not really?
Yeah, but it's definitely one of my lower volume days, if anything. I'll probably take one really good setup if there is one, and if I'm lucky to, like, if there's one in the morning and then one in like the last 2 hours of the session, like 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, like I'll consider it. But aside from that, no. Usually it's a lower volume day for me.
Yeah, I mean, even in the forex markets.
Peace, guys. All the loves. If you're still here, amazing times. I don't know how to. Oh.